Africa CEO Network and AGRA are pleased to host you today for a dynamic discussion on the agricultural competitiveness. What strategy at the onset of Continental Free Trade Agreement?
We need to see how we can responsibly contribute to a more productive society, to a more inclusive society. And I just want to take a moment to thank our partners from AGRA, because AGRA is typically a byproduct or the result of capitalism for the many. It's an initiative who has the same mission that we are talking about, creating more growth and creating more social inclusion and solving the problems of Africa. What we really need is your contribution, is the private sector contribution to solving this problem.
If there's one thing we did right in 2019 as a continent, was to sign the Free Continental Trade Agreement to get it going. I think that's the biggest opportunity that this continent has. And for us in the agricultural sector, we see it as the most exciting thing, because the agriculture sector has probably the most tradable commodities inside there that we are not trading right. I feel like there's an opportunity in private sector to step above waiting for public sector to come through when it comes to some of the things we must do from a continental perspective. I feel there must be something we can do. There must be some form of coming together. There must be some force we can create as private sector and start making investments that can transcend some of these things that are not moving where we want to go. And that's the challenge I want to put to you. Today, we are working on what we call political economy of agriculture, and we are trying to help governments understand the basis of policies that are being made and whether these policies need to exist or need to be removed so that the agricultural sector can move faster. If we don't, as AGRA, engage the private sector and try to understand what we can do together, there's a huge missed opportunity there. So again, as AGRA, we are prepared to work with you. We want to know what we can do to help, and we want to engage, and we want you to help us understand the best way to engage to support private sector.
They will drive their own.
Together with the AGRA Council.
Is a continental free trade an opportunity, or is this a threat?
For us, we see that as a great opportunity. To me, I think this is the greatest achievement which African Union is making. But that opportunity will still remain an opportunity until we find ways of exploiting that.
It will enhance food security for many reasons. One, because in truth and in reality, all the nutritional and dietary needs that Africa needs, they are all in Africa. They are available in Africa. And so the only thing that brings a problem is because we are not able to move food from production surplus regions to where we need it consumed.
I would say policy comes first before business, because the one thing that businesses can't cope with is with the uncertainty. And another thing about policy is one thing, implementation is another. It's great when every government sits and agrees and signs up and all shake hands that this is going to be the future, but is that cascaded down to those that are actually going to make it happen?
Policy is a enabler for business and investment when predictable, when there's enforcement, when there's implementation. It's also a level playing field, right? Without public good, without some standards, without some rules of engagement, regulations, there are always going to be people in need. So I don't think that we can talk about free trade in Africa without talking about a broader context of a playing field, of equity, of rule of law. So we need the data, we need the cellulence, we need all of the technology that all of you are generating in your businesses to be available, as Agnes was saying, to the public sector, where decision making actually is affecting business every day.